श्रीमते वेदांत स्वामिन्वति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. So today we'll discuss briefly in relation to Shivaratri. We will discuss initially from the Laghu Bhagavatamrita. Laghu Bhagavatamrita is a book written by Srila Rupa Goswami. It is the essence of the Bhagavatam in a concise way. Laghu Bhagavata Amrita. Sanatana Goswami wrote Brihat Bhagavatamrita, essence of the Bhagavatam, but in a little expanded way. So in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita, Laghu Bhagavatamrita is a book in which Rupa Goswami discusses about the different avatars of the Lord. In those avatars, Rupa Goswami discusses the Gunavataras of the Lord. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva are the Gunavataras. So among the Gunavataras, he describes the position of Shiva. Rudra Ekadasha Vyuhas Tatashta Tanurapyasau Praya Panchanana Straksho Dashabahur Udiryate. Ekadasha, Rudra has 11 expansions. Tata Ashta Tanur, he has 8 types of forms. The 11 expansions of Rudra are mentioned in the Mahabharata. The names of the 11 expansions are mentioned as Aja, Ahir, Budnya, Virupaksha, Raivata, Hara, Bahurupa, Trayambaka, Savitra, Jayanta, Pinaki, and Aparajita. These are the 11 names of the Rudra's forms. And Rudra has 8 types of forms. What are these 8 types of forms? These 8 types of forms are made up of the 8 forms of Shiva are earth, water, fire, air, ether, the sun, moon, and the performer of sacrifice. And Praya Panchanana, generally he has 5 heads. That means like sometimes he has 1 head also. Prayaksho, he has 3 eyes. Dashabahur Udiryate, he has 10 arms. This is about Rudra's form Rupa Goswami has described. And then he says, Kvachit Jiva Visheshatvam Harasyoktam Videriva Tattu Sheshava Devastam Tadamshatvena Kirtanat. Sometimes a special Jivatma takes the role of Shiva. Special Jivatma, what is the qualification? To become Brahma, one has to observe Varnashram Dharma for 100 lifetimes. That special Jivatma becomes Brahma. And a person, a Jivatma, who has occupied the post of Brahma 100 times, that Jivatma gets the post of Shiva. So sometimes a Jiva takes the role of Shiva. Harasyoktam videriva, in a manner similar to Brahma. Means like Brahma, just like a Jivatma becomes Brahma. Similarly, sometimes, Kvachit, a Jivatma becomes a Shiva. Tattu Sheshavad Evastam. Shesha refers to Ananta Shesha. Shiva should be considered like Shesha. So Ananta Shesha has two forms. In one form, Ananta Shesha serves Lord Narayan as the bed of Narayana. That form is the Vishnu Tattva. But in another form, Shesha is holding all the universes. So this Shesha is a Jiva Tattva. Just like Shesha has two forms, Shiva also has two forms. As a Jiva Tattva and as Vishnu Tattva. That is what is indicated. Shiva, but the Shiva is like Shesha who has two forms. The Shesha who acts as the bed of Vishnu is the Supreme Lord, Vishnu Tattva. The form of Shesha who holds up the universe on his hoods is a Jiva. So similarly, Shiva also has two forms. And then, Tad Amshatvena Kirtanat, Shiva is also glorified as an Amsha of Vishnu. So Rupa Goswami gives us several quotations as a pramana for how sometimes the Jivatma takes the role of Shiva. He gives quotations from Rigveda, from Narayana Upanishad. The Rigveda it is mentioned, Yam Kamaye Tam Ugram Krinomi Tam Brahmana Tam Rishim Tam Sumedam. I make whomever I desire into Shiva. I make whomever I desire into Brahma or a sage. So that way there are pramanas for how sometimes a Jivatma becomes a Shiva. And then further, Rupa Goswami says, Hara Purusha Damatvan Nirguna Praya Eva Saha Vikaravan Iha Tamo Yogat Sarvai Pratiyate Yata Shri Dashame Shiva Shakti Yuta Shashwat Trilingo Guna Samvrataha Vaikarikas Taijasascha Tamasaschet Yakam Trida. The Shiva is without the touch of the three gunas, Nirguna Praya. Because Purusha Damatva, since he is the Lord. However, the ignorant people perceive him among the Gunavataras to be contaminated by Tamoguna. Vikaravan iha tamo yogat sarvai pratiyate. Ignorant people perceive him to be contaminated by Tamoguna. But prayaha nirguna, generally he is untouched by the three gunas. And the word prayaha is used, that means like sometimes, generally, he is untouched by the three gunas. That means like sometimes by his own will he is covered by tamoguna. And he appears to be contaminated. So among the Gunavataras, he thus appears to be transformed by those who are ignorant. But actually he is not transformed or contaminated at all. So, and then he quotes a verse from the Brahma Samhita, very famous shloka. Kshiram yatha dadivikara vishesha yogat sanjayate nahi tata prutagasti heto yash shambhutam apitata samupaiti karyat govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. I worship the Supreme Lord Govinda, who becomes the form of Shiva, who is non-different from Govinda, but who is also different from Govinda because of the contact with the transformations of Prakriti. So Shiva is non-different from Govinda and also different from Govinda. Just like milk becomes yogurt, which can be said to be non-different from its cause. So just like milk becomes yogurt, yogurt is non-different from its cause. At the same time, it is also different from the milk. Similarly, Shiva, there is a simultaneous oneness and difference between Shiva and Krishna. That is the key point you have to understand. Simultaneous oneness and difference is there. And then he described the places of Shiva's appearance. Vider lalata janmasya kadachit kamalapate kalagni kalpante bhavet sankarshanadapi. So sometimes Rudra arises from the forehead of Brahma. Sometimes he is born from the forehead of Vishnu. And the Kalagni Rudra appears from the Sankarshan at the time of the Pralaya, at the end of the Kalpa. And then Rupa Goswami described the form of Sadashiva. In Shiva Tattva, in three ways it is described. Sometimes a Jivatma becomes a Shiva. We saw that. And then another concept which is described is that Shiva is simultaneously one with Vishnu Tattva and also different from Vishnu Tattva. That means he is in between Jivatma and Bhagavan. In between them. Therefore, he is simultaneously one with and also different from Vishnu Tattva. Now, the third concept is that Sadashiva is directly Vishnu Tattva. Sadashivakya Tanmurtis Tamo Gandha Vivarjita Sarva Karana Bhutasav Angabhuta Swayam Prabhoho. Sarva Karana Bhutasav Angabhuta Swayam Prabho Vayavyadishu Saiveyam Shivaloke Pradarshita. The form called Sadashiva is devoid of any trace of Tamoguna. Tamo Gandha Vivarjita. Sarva Karana Bhutasa. This Sadashiva is directly Narayana, the cause of all causes. And this form is described as dwelling in the Shivaloka part of Vaikuntha. In a Vaikuntha, there is a Sadashiva Loka. This Sadashiva Loka is described in the Vayu Purana and other scriptures. In this way, Rupa Goswami has mentioned three aspects of Lord Shiva. Three aspects of Lord Shiva. Sometimes a Jivatma becomes Lord Shiva. And then another aspect of Lord Shiva is that one who is in between Jiva Tattva and Vishnu Tattva. And the third aspect is that Sadashiva, who is directly Vishnu Tattva. And for all these, he has given quotations from the Shastra. And then Brahma Samhita also describes that when the Supreme Lord glances over Prakriti, when Mahavishnu glances over Prakriti, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu glances over Prakriti, that glance of Vishnu is called as the Linga, Shiva. That means Shiva plays the role in the creation because Shiva is nothing but the glance of Vishnu. Srila Prabhupada writes in this purport, in the Bhagavad Gita 14th chapter, this verse comes that Sarvayonishu Kaunteya Murtaya Sambhavantiya Tasam Brahma Mahadyonir Aham Bija Pradapita. In that regard, Srila Prabhupada explains, I'll just read out that purport. We see this. Actually, Lord Vishnu maintains and accomplishes all good fortune. If one has to take shelter of Lord Vishnu, why should the Devatas take shelter of Lord Shiva when the Kalakuta poison came during the Samudra Manthan? The answer is that the Devatas did so because Lord Vishnu acts through Lord Shiva in the creation of the material world. Lord Vishnu acts through Lord Shiva in the creation. That means Lord Shiva acts on behalf of Vishnu. When Krishna says, Sarvayonishu Kaunteya Murtaya Sambhavantiya Tasam Brahma Mahadyonir Aham Bija Pradapita, I am the seed-giving father of all living entities. This refers to the actions performed by Lord Vishnu through Lord Shiva. So Lord Vishnu is always unattached to material activities. And when material activities are to be performed, Lord Vishnu performs them through Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is therefore worshipped on the level of Lord Vishnu. When Lord Vishnu is untouched by the external energy, he is Lord Vishnu. But when Lord Vishnu is in touch with the external energy, he appears in his feature as Lord Shiva. Very clear understanding. When Lord Vishnu is untouched by the Maya Shakti, he is Vishnu. When Lord Vishnu is in touch with the external energy, he appears in his feature as Lord Shiva. Therefore, in the Hari Bhakti Vilas, when it describes the Namaparad, it says this. Shivasya Shri Vishnur Yayiha Guna Namadi Sakalam Diya Bhinnam Pashyet Sakalu Harinamahita Karaha. In this shloka, Diya Bhinnam. Diya means intelligence. Tritiya Vibhakti Ekvachan. Diya, by the intelligence. Diya Bhinnam. By Sandhi, it has become Diya Bhinnam. And the same word can also be split as Dhiya Abhinnam. Dhiya Abhinnam also, when these two words get joined, the combined word is same, Dhiya Abhinnam. Therefore, in this shloka, two meanings are embedded. Dhiya Bhinnam, Bhinnam means difference. Dhiya Abhinnam means non-difference. So anybody who considers the name, qualities, etc. of Shiva and Vishnu to be completely non-different, of Shiva and Vishnu to be completely non-different, or completely different is certainly an offender unto Harinam. So somebody who sees complete non-difference between Shiva and Vishnu is an offender unto Harinam. Somebody who sees complete difference between Shiva and Vishnu is also an offender. Both are offenders. Those who see complete non-difference and those who see complete difference, both are actually committing an aparadh. That means what is the right understanding? One must see both difference and non-difference between Shiva and Vishnu. Such a person has a right understanding. One who sees difference between Shiva and Vishnu and also non-difference between Shiva and Vishnu. Such a person has a right understanding. Milk is non-different from the yogurt is non-different from the milk because the cause of yogurt is milk. At the same time, yogurt is different from the milk. Yogurt cannot perform the action of the milk. Trunk and the branch of a tree. Branch is non-different from the trunk because the branch originates from the trunk. At the same time, branch is different from the trunk. Branch is different from the trunk. There is a difference and non-difference, both are there. So one has to see both difference and non-difference between Shiva and Vishnu. That is the right understanding of the position of Shiva. Further, Sanatana Goswami writes that therefore, conclusion is that to consider Sri Vishnu as a separate deity and Sri Shiva as a separate deity and offer obeisances to Shiva is certainly not appropriate for Vaishnavas. Instead of seeing Shiva as different from Vishnu, one should see Shiva is a Gunavatara of Vishnu. Non-different from Vishnu. At the same time, there is a difference is there. What is the difference? Vishnu is completely untouched by the three gunas. But when Vishnu comes in contact with the Tamoguna, he acts as Lord Shiva. That means there is a difference between Shiva and Vishnu. So anybody who thinks that Shiva is completely different deity and Vishnu is completely different deity and then goes offers obeisances to Shiva or disrespects Shiva, that person is certainly an offender. And such behavior is not appropriate for the Vaishnavas. Therefore, knowing that just as Matsya, etc. are Leelavataras, Shri Shiva is also a Gunavatara Vishnu. And therefore, to see non-difference in that way does not cause any fault. In fact, it is favorable to perceive and worship Shiva in that way, for it ultimately leads to devotion towards Vishnu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Shivashtaka, what is he praying from Shiva? Lord Shiva is serving Krishna Leela as Gopeshwara Mahadev, as Chakreshwara Mahadev, as Kameshwara Mahadev, as I think Nandeshwara Mahadev. Lord Shiva is serving wherever there is a prominent Krishna temple, Lord Shiva is also serving as a god. Jagannath Puri is there. Lord Shiva is guarding Jagannath Puri in Bhuvaneshwar as a Lingaraj. So, Lord Shiva is performing the highest service to Krishna by acting as a security guard for Krishna's Rasa Leela. Therefore, Lord Shiva has assumed the position of Gopeshwara Mahadev. If you go to Vrindavan near the Vamshi Vata, there is a Gopeshwara Mahadev temple is there. One must visit that place actually. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he is praying to Lord Shiva, what is he praying? Vrindavana Vanipate Jaya Soma Jaya Soma Soma Maule Sanaka Sanandana Sanatana Naradedya Gopishwara Vrajavilasi Yugangri Padme Pritim Prayachya Nitaram Nirupadikam Me. O proprietor of Vrindavan, all glories to you. O husband of Parvati, O you whose head is decorated with the moon and is worshipped with the sages like Sanaka, Sanandan, Sanatan and Narada. O Gopishwara, I pray that you bestow upon me uninterrupted, unalloyed love for the lotus feet of the divine couple, Sri Radha Krishna, who enjoy pastimes in Vrindavan. This is the prayer offered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Lord Shiva. So, it is mentioned in Hari Bhakti Vilas, Parat Parataram Yanti Narayana Parayanaha Nate Tatra Gamishyanti Ye Dushanti Maheshwaram. Those who are dedicated to Sri Narayana attain the destination beyond the highest point in the material world. And those devotees of Narayana who are envious of Shiva never attain that destination. Ye Dushanti Maheshwaram. Madbhakta Shankara Dveshi Madveshi Shankara Priyaha Ubau Tau Narakam Yatau Yava Chandra Divakaro. Two types of people attain hell as long as sun and moon are there. One who is Vishnu's devotee but envies Lord Shiva. And one who is a devotee of Shankara but envies Vishnu. So therefore, we see that between Shiva and Vishnu, there is a simultaneous difference and non-difference. So last few points, with that we'll end. So there is a beautiful shloka in the Niti Shataka, Bhartrhari's Niti Shataka, which talks about qualities of a saintly person. Before that, I'll show you this chart. If you see this chart, you will actually get a glimpse of everything. So there is the Chaitanya Tattva. Chaitanya Tattva. Chaitanya means sentient, conscious. Chaitanya Tattva. Tattva in English we can translate as ontology. The ontology of sentient beings. So they are divided into two categories. The independent sentient beings and dependent sentient beings. Among the independent sentient beings, that is called as Ishvara, there are two categories. One is Narayana and the incarnations of Narayana. Narayana and his incarnations in expansions, they are completely beyond the touch of Maya. They are never ever touched by the three gunas. And then another type of independent sentient being is Lord Shiva. Because Lord Shiva he comes in the category of Ishvara, but at the same time, he accepts the touch of Maya for the sake of, he accepts the touch of Tamoguna, Maya, for the sake of the Leela, for the sake of destruction, for the sake of creation. So these are the two types of sentient beings. The two types of sentient beings who come under the category of independent sentient beings. And among the dependent sentient beings, dependent sentient being refers to the Jivatma, living entity. And they are into two categories. Those who are covered by ignorance, demigods, humans, birds, bees, etc. All the like birds, bees, demigods, human beings, animals, etc. And those who are not covered by ignorance, but dependent Jivatma. And among those who are not covered by ignorance, there are two categories. Those who are invested with the Lord's Aishwarya Shakti, and second, those who are not invested with the Lord's Aishwarya Shakti. And then among those who are invested with the Lord's Aishwarya Shakti, there are two categories. Those who are invested with the Jnana Shakti, an aspect of transcendence, such as the four Kumaras. And another is those who are invested with the creative potency, an aspect of Maya of the Lord, such as Lord Brahma. And then those who are among the living entities, not covered by ignorance and not invested with the Lord's Aishwarya Shakti, there are two further subcategories. The Jnani Jivatma, who merges with the Nirguna Brahma. And then other is the Bhakta Jivatma, who relishes the sweetness of the name, form, qualities and pastimes of Bhagavan, which is laudable. But the Jnani who merges into the Nirguna Brahma is actually deplorable. In this way also, the ontology of the sentient being, Chaitanya Tattva, is described in the simple flow chart here. So there is a beautiful shloka in the Niti Shataka, Bhartruharis. Manasi vachasi kaye punya piyusha purna tribhuvanam upakara shrenibihi prinayantaha paraguna paramanun parvati kritya nityam nija hridi vikasantaha santi santaha kiyantaha. So this verse talks about essentially what it says that how many saintly people are there with two qualities. What are the two qualities? Manasi vachasi kaye, with the mind, body and words. Punya piyusha purna tribhuvanam upakara shrenibihi. With the mind, body and words, they are always engaged in doing paropakara for the entire three words. I engage in the paropakara for the entire three words. And paraguna paramanun parvati kritya. Somebody has a good quality of the size of paramanu, but parvati kritya, but he magnifies that small good quality which is of the size of paramanu to the size of the big mountain, parvati kritya. Those sadhus who have such quality, how many such sadhus are there? How many such sadhus are there? I'll read the Hindi translation. मन, वचन और शरीर में सत्कर्म रूपी अमृत से भरे हुए तीनों लोकों को अनेक उपकारों से संतुष्ट करने वाले तथा दूसरे के लेश मात्र गुण को नित्य ही पर्वत आकार बनाकर अपने हृदय में प्रसन्न होने वाले सज्जन इस संसार में कुछ ही है. वेरी फ्यू सच पीपल आर देयर. अथवा कितने हैं? और हाउ मेनी सच पीपल आर देयर? हार्डली एनी. Because such people are very, very rare. Those who are always engaged in the paropakara of others, of the entire three worlds with their body, mind and words. And those who can magnify the smallest good quality to be the size of a mountain. But the personality who has these two, who possesses these two qualities is Lord Shiva. And that is mentioned. We'll see two verses from the Bhagavatam where Lord Shiva is said to possess both these qualities. So Lord Shiva is described as tapyante lokatapena sadavo prayasho jana paramaradhanam taddi paramaradhanam taddi purushasya kilatmanah. Tapyante lokatapena. The shloka comes. Yeah, this is the shloka. Tapyante lokatapena sadava prayasho jana. Paramaradhanam taddi purushasya kilatmana. So this shloka is spoken in relation to Lord Shiva. It is said that great personalities almost always accept voluntary suffering because of the suffering of the people in general. In order to remove the suffering of the people in general, great personalities almost always accept voluntary suffering. Paramaradhanam, this is considered as the highest method of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is present in everyone's heart. Purushasya kilatmanaha. So Lord Shiva performed this greatest paropakara by consuming that Kalakuta poison for the welfare of the entire world. He performed this as a worship of Lord Vishnu, Paramaradhanam Taddi. That means Lord Shiva possesses the quality of Paradukka Dukki, one who cannot tolerate the suffering of others. When he sees others suffering, he also suffers. And in order to alleviate other suffering, one voluntarily takes difficulties in order to remove other suffering. That is the exalted quality of a Vaishnava, and Lord Shiva demonstrated this quality when he drank the poison. And the second quality, magnifying the smallest good quality to be like a mountain. This quality is also mentioned by Parvati in relation to Lord Shiva. In relation to Lord Shiva, again this is there in the Bhagavatam. Doshan pareshan hi guneshu sadavo. I'll show you that. Doshan paresham hi guneshu sadavo. गृह्णन्ति केचिन्न बभादृशो द्विज गुणां च फल्गून् बहुलीकरिष्णवो महत्तमास्तेष्वविदद्भवानगम्. O Brahmana, saintly persons see that faults are capable of being transformed, and therefore they see good qualities only and they don't see the faults. But you are just the opposite. So Parvati is telling to Daksha, saintly people, they don't see the faults, they see only good qualities. But you are opposite of a sadhu, you see only faults, you don't see good qualities. And the best among the saintly persons, Gunamsya Falgun Bahuli Karishnavo, the best among the saintly persons, they magnify even the meager good qualities in another person. They magnify even the Paramanu size good quality to be like a mountain. But you see only fault in such a saintly person. So Lord Shiva is such a best among the saintly person. Lord Shiva magnifies even the Paramanu type good quality into a great mountain. But O Daksha, you have only found fault in such a great person, Lord Shiva. Therefore, you are the worst of all persons. Lord Shiva is Ati Sadhu Tama and you are Ati Asadhu Tama. You are, so there are in this purport, Vishwanath Chakravarti talks about 4 categories of people: sadhu and asadu. And then sadhu tara and asadu tara, or mahattara and asadu tara, and then mahattama and asadu tama, and then he finally says ati mahattama or ati sadhu tama and ati asadu tama, atyasadu tama. So Lord Shiva is the category of ati sadhu tama, one who magnifies even the smallest good quality to be like a mountain, whereas you are ati asadu tama. Yeah, you have found only fault in Lord Shiva where there are none. So therefore, Lord Shiva is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam as Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhuhu. He is the greatest among the Vishnu Bhaktas. He is the greatest among the Vaishnavas. In Rameshwara, the Rameshwara word, when Lord Ram, after killing Ravana, he came to Rameshwara and he made a Shivalinga and worshipped Lord Shiva. Because he felt that I have killed the devotee of Lord Shiva, Ravana. And seeing that, Shaivaites say that, oh, Shiva is the Lord worshipped by Ram. Shiva is the master of Ram, like that the Shaivaites say. So they say Rameshwara means Ramasya Ishwaraha, Tatpurusha Samasa. They explain the Rameshwara word by using a particular category of samasa called a Tatpurusha Samasa. It means that Ramasya Ishwara, the Ishwara of Lord Ram is Shiva, like that they say. When they said like that, the Devatas, they spoke from the sky and they told that Rameshwara does not mean that. Rameshwara means Ramascha Asau Ishwaraha. That means Rama is Ishvara and Shiva is Ishvara. Like that the Devata spoke from the sky. So when the Devata spoke like that, the Shivalinga, Shiva himself spoke in the assembly. He said, both are wrong. Rameshwara means what? Ramaha Ishwaraha Yasya Saha. Ramaha Ishwaraha Yasya Saha. That means that person for whom Ram is Ishwara. Rameshwara refers to Shiva. That means Shiva is that person whose worshipable Lord is Ram. This is the meaning given for Rameshwara by Lord Shiva himself. So therefore, Lord Shiva is considered to be the topmost among the Vaishnavas, the devotees of Lord Vishnu. And this is how the Srimad Bhagavatam presents the position of Lord Shiva. So I'll stop here. There are many things to be speak about Lord Shiva, but we will end here. Anybody has any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for such a nice class on this day of Mahashivratri. So, Prabhuji, my question is, there are two questions. First is the in the Vaikuntha Loka, who there is Sadashiva. So these 11 Rudras are his forms, no, Prabhu?
So these 11 Rudras are there in the material world.
This, okay.
11 Rudras are in the material world, and they are involved in the Pralaya, destruction. Sadashiva is Vishnu Tattva. These 11 Rudras they can be sometimes a Jiva Tattva, or they can be sometimes in between Jiva Tattva and Vishnu Tattva.
Okay. And Prabhu, next is in the Daksha Yajna, when this Mother Sati gave up her life, then Lord Shiva created Veerbhadra and he destroyed all the Daksha Yajna.
Hmm.
So then the demigods all they came to Lord Brahma because the yajna was not performed, and on their behalf Lord Brahma went to Lord Shiva
Hmm.
to so that ask forgiveness on the behalf of Lord all the demigods. So there the Lord Brahma starts glorifying Lord Shiva as that you are the supreme personality and all that.
Ah.
So, as in Rameshwaram, the Linga spoke, there Lord Shiva didn't stop that, oh, no, 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 I am not like that. So, how to understand this, Prabhu?
The Devatas are glorifying Lord Shiva, just like in the Purvashtakam, the Mangalarti, what we pray. Sakshad Daritvena. The spiritual master is Sakshad Hari. That is the word comes, na? Sakshad Daritvena Samasta Shastra.
Yes, Prabhu.
And then the next line, how it begins? Kintu.
Too.
Kintu. When it is said Kintu, that means but. That means there is something different from what is spoken before is going to be told.
Mm,
So, spiritual master is Sakshad Hari, but Kintu Praboryo Priyayeva Tasya. Kintu, that means he is not Hari also. He is not Hari in the sense that he is not identical with Hari in all respects.
mm,
He is not identical with Hari in all respects. But why we say spiritual master is Sakshat Hari? In what way then he is identical? Because of that we say Sakshat Hari. But there should be some commonality. Na? In what way is he identical? He is identical with Lord Hari in the aspect of Karuna, mercy.
yeah, mercy, mercy flows
Uh,
to devotees.
uh. In fact, in that mercy aspect, maybe spiritual master can excel the Lord also. Uh,
Mm,
the Vaishnava can excel. So therefore, in that mercy aspect is called Sakshat Hari. Uh,
mm,
but in the but that doesn't mean that he's identical with Lord Vishnu in all respects. That in the sense that it's not that a spiritual master can perform creation like Vishnu.
mm,
Uh, he cannot do that. He's identical with Vishnu in the aspect of mercy. So similarly, when the Devatas are glorifying Lord Shiva, they are glorifying in this way. Uh, Shiva is acting on behalf of Vishnu.
yes, yes.
Hmm. So therefore, we see that a Devata like Lord Shiva can be worshipped in 5 different ways. What are the 5 different ways? One is that to consider Shiva to be an independent Bhagavan. This is the concept of the Shaivaites. They worship Lord Shiva in that manner.
Mm,
And then, or a person may worship Lord Shiva as a presiding deity of Tamoguna. Hmm.
mm,
So the first type of worship, to worship Lord Shiva as an independent Bhagavan, is forbidden. It will lead to degradation.
mm,
Second type of worship, to worship Lord Shiva as a presiding deity of Tamoguna, this will yield only material benefits. And the third, fourth, and fifth type of worship, worshipping Lord Shiva as a devotee of Vishnu, as a Vaishnava.
mm,
And fourth is worshipping Lord Shiva as a partial manifestation of Vishnu. And fifth is worshipping Lord Shiva as a Adhishtana, seat occupied by Vishnu, or an agent, a representative of Vishnu manifesting his powers. So, in these 3 ways, third, fourth, and fifth way, worshipping Lord Shiva in this manner, it will award the highest benefit.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Prabhu.
So
And
the
Prabhu, can we
Devatas were
get
actually
the
worshipping Lord Shiva in this way, either
yes?
third, fourth, and fifth way, as a devotee of Vishnu, as a partial
Hmm.
manifestation of Vishnu. That is how they were actually glorifying in the fourth canto, the sixth chapter.
Okay, okay. Thank you. And Prabhu, can we get the PDF for this Ati Mahatma Ati Sadhutama
Well said.
Asadhutama?
Well said.
That will be nice, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Dandavatam.
Okay. Any other question?
Hari Bol,
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam.
Ah,
Prabhuji, just a small doubt
hmm,
that we fast on Ram Navami day, but
hmm.
we don't observe any fast on Mahashivratri day. Any particular reason for this or
No,
what?
if a Vaishnava wants to observe Shivaratri, one may observe also.
Acha, acha.
What is
Okay.
the in what mood?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is the important.
Okay. Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. In fact, it's mentioned by, I'll just show you that word. In the Hari Bhakti Vilas, it's mentioned. Ata Shivaratri Vratam. There is a section on Shivaratri Vratam in the Hari Bhakti Vilas. In that he says that Shivaratri Vratamidam Yadyapi Avashyakam Nahi Vaishnavānaṁ tatapi atra sadāchāra ādau vilikyate. That means यद्यपि वैष्णवों के संबंध में शिवरात्रि व्रत अनुष्ठान का कोई प्रयोजन नहीं है, तथापि सदाचार निबंधन यहाँ उसका वर्णन किया जाता है. That means Vaishnava can observe Shivaratri vrata. It's not necessary, but if somebody wants, one can observe Shivaratri vrata. But in the mood of understanding Shiva to be a topmost Vaishnava, in that mood. Okay,
Hari Bol, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
we'll stop here. Thank you very
Hare
much.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Huh.
Prabhuji, you showed one ontology. So there the last two options. So there were no examples. So could you please elaborate? Like Nirguna, Saguna, and the last one I forgot. Those two are not having some example.
No, yeah, the jnanis who merge into Nirguna Brahma.
Right, right. This
Uh,
one and the next one.
there's no specific example is not given. Just a category is mentioned. There may be many jnanis. The bhaktas who relish the sweetness of the name form qualities. All the bhaktas in Vaikunta, all the pure devotees, uh, all the bhaktas. So there are all the bhaktas who are in Vaikunta, Golok, Vrindavan, who relish the sweetness of the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of Bhagavan. So particular example is not given, but in the Bhagavatam, all the examples can be taken. Dhruva Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj. All these examples can be taken. Jnani, anybody who has some aspiration to merge into the impersonal Brahman, who merges into that, those jnanis are example.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hmm. Okay. We will end here. Thank you very much. महाशिवरात्रि महामहोत्सव की जय. कंतरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. श्री
Jai.
प्रभुपाद की जय.
Jai.
और भक्त
Hare